Our video today is going to deal with factoring expressions. We've talked a little bit on our sponge about factoring and what a factor is and what a greatest common factor is. So let's take a minute to copy down these vocabulary terms. You may want to pause your video to get these down. A factor is when two numbers can be multiplied together to get another number. So I could give you the example, factors of 16 would be 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. All of these guys are factors. The greatest common factor is when you have the largest factor that two numbers have in common. This is specifically what we've been doing on our sponge the last week. If I asked you what is the greatest common factor of 12 and 18, you could say that the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. And the factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. So the greatest common factor, the biggest number that both of these guys have in common, is 6. Make sure you get your examples down on your paper. Our first example asks you to factor 2x plus 4. So what is the biggest number that will go into 2x and 4? Obviously, 4 is a constant. It doesn't have a variable. So 4 could be 2 times 2. So I could have 2x plus 2 times 2. And in this case, the biggest number that they both have in common is that 2. So if I pull a 2 out, I'm left with 2 times x plus 2. I could check myself because 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 2 is 4. So my answer is 2 parentheses x plus 2. 2 is the greatest common factor. Example 2 gives you the expression 5x plus 5. So I have to ask myself, what is the greatest common factor of 5x and 5? 5x is 5 times x, and 5 is just 5. So the biggest number that both of these terms have in common is a 5. So again, if I factor out a 5, I'm left with 5x plus 1. Now you may ask yourself, why 1? Well, because to get this 5, it's 5 times 1. And to get this 5x, it's 5 times x. So if I factor a 5 out, I'm left with 5 parentheses x plus 1. Example 3 gives you the expression 9a minus 5a squared. So 9a is 9 times a, And 5a squared is 5 times a times a. Remember how to expand those exponents. So here, if I look at the greatest common factor, there's an A here and an A here, but the 9 and the 5 don't share any common factors. So I'm just going to pull an A out, and I'm left with 9 minus 5A. If I pull this A out, I'm left with 9 minus 5A. So, if I factor the expression, I'll get A parentheses 9 minus 5A. My last expression, 4x minus 12x squared plus 5. If I expand this, I get 4x minus 4 times 3 times x plus 5. So if I look at what's in common here, I have a 4 and an x and a 4 and an x. So if I pull a 4x out, I'm left with 1 minus 3x, and then I can't forget about this plus 5 on the end. He doesn't have any common factors. I can only pull common factors out of 4x and 12x squared. So, if I factor 4x minus 12x squared plus 5, I'm with the greatest common factor, I'm left with 4x times 1 minus 3x plus 5. All right, now it's your turn. You give this one a try. I want you to pause the video, and on the side of your paper, I want you to factor 16x plus 32x squared. All right, if you said the greatest common factor was 16x, you are right. If you factor a 16x out of both terms, you're left with 1 plus 2x. So 16x parentheses 1 plus 2x is the factored expression. All right, so yours is to complete your step-by-step notes. Then I would like for you to summarize how to factor. And lastly, I would like for you to take your Edmodo quiz. If you have any questions, record them at the bottom of your paper. Best of luck.